Welcome back, everybody. This is the last game that I'm covering for today for the TI8 China qualifiers. This is also the last round for the day. We've had 7 rounds so far. This is IG, Invictus Gaming versus Keen Gaming. I'm just going to quickly get my mic working. There you go. Hello to all you beautiful people watching in Dota TV. Hope you guys are enjoying all the coverage today. And of course, everybody here on the BTS3 channel as well. As far as the standings for this matchup, it's actually pretty interesting. We've got IG currently at 2-1 and Keen also at 2-1. IG Vitality, after their loss in the previous round, are now 2-1, and FTD 3-1. So nobody has a perfect record anymore, which is pretty interesting, as it's only
10 seconds remaining.
It's still relatively early days. I think every team plays 4 matches today.
5 seconds remaining.
So perfect record at the end of the day would have been a 4-0. FTD are the closest, and of course one of these two teams is going to be 3-1, on track, heading towards one of those top 4 spots so that they can make it through into the bracket play and get one step closer to joining a bunch of other Chinese teams at TI8. I'm sorry, I've just trapped my headphone cable under something, so I'm just going to
Dire team ban.
sort that out. All right, there you go. So we've got Nightstalker being banned out. Got the Lycan and the Chen also being removed. A lot of these pushing heroes have been pretty popular. Very surprised to see the Dark Willow ban from Keen Gaming. I don't think that's a hero that really very many teams have been picking as of late. I will have a look at some of the recent IG drafts to see if that's something that they have been playing. Just pull that up real fast and let's have a look. IG, have they played Dark Willow at all recently? As far as I can tell, no. It could be something that these two teams know about each other from scrims. Could be that Keen was practicing against IG going into open qualifiers. Both of these two teams are pretty highly regarded. I think if maybe before the open qualifiers, given that IG were already directly invited to the main qualifier and Keen Gaming are fairly well known, I think people would have put these two teams among the top 2. But there do seem to be some other teams sort of nipping at their heels as far as this tier 2 spot in China is concerned. And that is one of the cool things I think about this China qualifier, is getting to see all of that extra depth in the Chinese region. Though there has not been very clean Dota played today. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I really think a lot of these teams have been making some very sloppy plays, not looking super coordinated, not looking super crisp and clean. But it's been entertaining. So as a caster, and I hope you guys as viewers, I'm not complaining too much. You know, there's a place for pristine Dota, and that place can be at TI. This is the qualifiers. This is everybody scrambling tooth and nail over the top of each other just to get that opportunity to fly to Vancouver and prove themselves as one of the best teams in the world. And we'll see if either of these two teams can do just that here. So we got Beastmaster and Clockwork picked up. A little bit interesting that we don't see, say, the Skywrath Mage picked up really early on by Keen. That will probably end up getting banned out by IG here, if I had to guess. Though I don't know if you really want to be running Skywrath as your 5 when you've got Clockwork as your 4. Though Clockwork can actually pretty comfortably play as a 5, and they could still have the Skywrath Mage kind of filling that 4 role and taking a little bit more of the farm. So could happen. Might just end up being a free ban for them. We've got the Wind Ranger, which has been seeing quite a lot of play. We've seen some sick Light of Heaven shackles already so far in the qualifiers, and I'm sure we'll see plenty more. I don't know if have I seen 1 or 2 games of core Windrunner? I think I have, but I much prefer this hero in position 4. And IG are just doing whatever here. They pick up the Venomancer. I have seen this hero as a attempt kind of to answer back against the Beastmaster in lane, so that could be what we're looking at here. They've got some very strong laning heroes so far between the Wind Ranger and the Venomancer, so lots of lane pressure. I like that Brewmaster ban. I think that hero is quite strong at the moment. Invictus have been picking it. They actually just won their match against CDC not long ago with a Brewmaster pick, so it looks like Keen have been doing their homework. And what have Keen been playing? They've been playing quite a lot of Lesh, it looks like, some Dragon Knight mixed in there. They've also been playing a little bit of Brewmaster themselves. Beastmaster has been their go-to for the off lane, and they've got that already this game. They played a little bit of Oracle against
Dire
LFY,
team
which
bad.
didn't win them the game, unfortunately. But and they also picked a Broodmother not long ago against Serenity, it looks like. Unfortunately, these games have been going on while I've been casting the other line of matches, so I didn't get to catch those. But that could also be something to watch out for in this game. IG's heroes are not very well equipped to deal with a Brood just
remaining.
yet, so we'll see what happens. Probably just going to get a range support here in this position from Keen.
5 seconds
And IG
remaining.
actually some interesting bans, getting rid of Phantom Lancer and the Ember. A lot of this feels like it's very sort of player focused more than it is necessarily draft focused. And I'm getting this vibe, and I could be wrong here, but I'm getting this vibe that these two teams have played against each other a little bit more than perhaps the public match history would let on. I think there might be some scrim context going on here that we don't necessarily know about. And I think that the Dark Willow ban is an especially big hint towards that. But alright, so for Keen, are they just going to ban another relatively strong offlaner? I don't know what else they're really worried about. A little bit surprising to see the Brewmaster ban, given that they've already picked up the Clockwork. This hero is pretty solid against Brewmaster in general, but I think they're more just worried about this early 5-man sort of deathball style from IG, since their lineup is already very pick-off focused. Like, Beastmaster and Clockwork don't really want to be initiating 5-on-5 fights. They'd much rather be finding little scrappy fights, little engagements. Meanwhile, the IG hero is much better equipped to just kind of set up a death ball and run down a lane as 5. So they really need to avoid that happening, and Brewmaster is one of the best offlaners when it comes to that kind of
Invictus
death ball lineup.
Gaming's turn to
Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, they're just going to keep on going further down that line, picking up a Shadow Fiend now. I'm very surprised to see the Shadow Fiend picked here. I guess they do have the SF Clock combination, which is weaker now than it used to be, but still good. But a little bit surprised that they don't try and get a little bit more information out of IG before they pick their presumably mid hero.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, it's good to be confident about your Shadow Fiend play, but IG do
5
now have the
seconds
opportunity
remaining.
to counterpick this a little bit. I don't know what exactly that counterpick would be. A lot of the heroes that I think people like playing against SF don't really like playing against the Clockwork and the Beastmaster that much. Like, in general, the archetype of a hero that you like against Shadow Fiend is somebody who can stay back and still kind of contest the lane without ever really putting themselves at risk of getting raised. So let's say your Linas and your TAs and whatnot. But those heroes do not like playing against Beastmaster and Clockwork at all. So it's a little bit of a tough call for IG in terms of what they're going to go for here. Other heroes include something like a Tinker, right? But same exact story. You do not want to be playing Tinker into
Dire team
Beastmaster
pick.
Clockwork at all.
Undying Way.
Okay. This looking like it could be a fast one way or the other. Both teams, lots of laning focus, lots of early fight, and it's only going to tip one way or the other. Unless they could keep butting heads and one team comes out ahead, but it just feels like as soon as one team wins one team fight, they're going to take a building, and then they're
10
going to have
seconds remaining.
a round of small items, because all of these heroes love building little
5 seconds
items.
remaining.
SF's going to get his treads, wand, Aquila, maybe a drum. Even Shadowblade isn't necessarily that expensive. And Beastmaster with just the Solar Crest, that's a big boost, or just the Shadowblade for him as well. And all of these little items are really going to change the face of these team fights by a lot. So the team that wins the first couple of fights and gets those first couple of towers is really going to have a lot of say in the overall direction of this game. They do both have some D-push and some decent lane shove, so that's the way that the team that falls behind, they could kind of catch back up into the game, spam some Plague Ward, spam some Power Shot, but right now it's looking like they really want to... Both teams are really going heavily onto the lanes, and these last few picks are going to matter a lot. They've at least got decent ways to deal with the Tombstone. Keen Gaming running very low on reserve time here. I was about to check if anybody had disconnected, but they will just grab Rubik. That makes their laning stage, to me, feel a little bit weaker. There are some decent steals here. There's some consistent
Dire
steals.
team bad.
There's some pretty high
Templar
impact steals
Assassin.
as well. And IG, despite playing against the Clockwork and the Beastmaster, are still going to end up going for this Templar Assassin. They like the matchup against the Shadow Fiend, it looks like. And they are over on the Radiant side. So some opportunities for the TA to go and stack for herself a little bit. stack up those ancients, and accelerate her own farm
10
that way
seconds
without really having
remaining.
to expose herself in the lane. So that's good.
5 seconds remaining.
Also fits into the kind of overall theme here. Gets active early on, pretty aggressive.
Invictus Gaming's
So,
turn to battle.
how will they round that out? They're not necessarily lacking for frontline, but I think another frontliner would not go amiss for their lineup, and some more initiation would be grand if they could get that, which is, I think, part of why you see that Legion Commander getting banned out. They don't really have great ways to lead off a fight, unless the Wind Ranger gets a blink, but the Wind Ranger is probably being played
10
position 4 here,
seconds
so we're
remaining.
not talking about a blink on her until 15 minutes
5
at the
seconds
earliest,
remaining.
probably. And even then, it's not an easy ask to initiate as a Wind Ranger into these Keen Gaming heroes. So a little bit more initiation coming from somewhere would be nice. I think Pangolier is not looking so great here. Keen's lineup is actually quite good against
Invictus
that.
Gaming's turn to pick.
What other offlaners could they play here? It could also be Venomancer offlane. They could still pick another position 1 hero if they feel like there's a really good pos 1 matchup squirreled away somewhere. I don't know what that would be, though. I think they're more likely to pick something...
Dire team
Centaur doesn't feel that great. Alright, yeah, sure, Axe. How did I forget about Axe? So, great early fight, good laning presence. They're going to have either Axe Undying or Axe Wind Ranger or something up in Keen's faces. And this is where Rubik is just weeping. It's not going to be a very fun game for him as far as the laning stage goes.
10
And
seconds
they need
remaining.
to pick quite a strong laner to round things out,
Choose your
as they will
hero.
pick themselves a Broodmother. But where do they put this Broodmother? What's the plan? Is Brood playing on a side lane? No, okay, so they're going to try and put the Brood mid against the TA, but then IG will naturally try and put the Axe up against the Brood on mid lane and just put the TA in a side lane. So then what happens? Does the Brood leave the lane to go and chase after the TA? Do they try and fake it out so that, like, put one web down in mid and then actually be going to a side lane to get the 1v1? This early game is going to be really interesting. But alright, let's swap that overlay over. And we'll have to see how this goes. Both of these two teams with the 2-1 record looking to join FTD at the top of the group, 3-1. And 2-2, not necessarily a completely dangerous score, but alright, we're good. Oh my god, IG just tipping the Broodmother. Maybe they didn't see the game earlier. But they did win their Broodmother game in 27 minutes, so we'll see what the plan is going to be here from IG. SRF, this is not necessarily looking like a mid lane build. So XXS is actually just going to be facing down the spider all by himself, it looks like here. But that does also mean that they have a side lane Shadow Fiend, so I don't know. Is it that scary? He does at least have the extra souls, which is helpful, but I don't know if Shadow Fiend stands up all that well against the against these
30
dual lanes from
seconds to
IG.
battle.
They have some very scary dual lanes. Venomancer Undying and Axe Wind Ranger. Like, even if the Broodmother gets completely out of control, I think I like IG's lineup a little bit more. So we shall have to see. Brood's gonna have to prove me wrong. Looks like it's going to be maybe even 3 bounty runes for IG here, since Keen are so slow out of the gate getting those extra
The
souls.
battle begins.
And IG should be able to still hold on to this one. They get the Gale out onto 2. Nice lift, but I think there's still going to be some punching for Rubik here. There's no Orb of Venom, but he's still dropping pretty low. Might need to get denied here, in fact. One more hit and then deny him. Nicely played by the Beastmaster. Alright, that was so good. He even positioned himself like right in here, so he was around the corner and the Undying didn't have vision on him. Mwah! That was some beautiful Dota from Dark. So hopefully that sets the stage for the rest of this game, but we'll see what happens. I think this is going to be a pretty explosive one. But I don't know, what the hell do they do about this Axe Windranger lane with their clockwork and their Rubik support? Look at this. Q is just running dark out of the lane.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Rubik,
attack.
I mean, he's got 3 mangoes. We'll see how much that helps him. You know, the Undying can kind of zone them 2-on-1, it feels like. Looks like they managed to get some damage onto Baboka. Yuna doing the best that he can with the power cogs. At least drain some of the Axe's mana so he can't keep on spamming Battle Hunger. Oh, another attempt at bottom. Is there going to be another deny? Ooh. Yes! Deny number 2 for Dark. IG just couldn't quite coordinate to get that one. Alright, still no first blood. How's XXS doing on mid? 2 and 5 versus the 2 and 2 Broodmother. I don't know how he has so many denies, but... Alright. He's still finding some CS. This lane is certainly not going to be easy. Let's see how he does. Shadow Fiend. Oh, come on! You gotta get these last hits. Gotta dispel that Battle Hunger. Clockwork with all of his mangoes. Able to go punch the Windranger a little bit. XXS. Actually getting a lot of spill damage onto the Brood, but does have a salve. He's gonna be okay. Alright, Baboka pretty happy to end up inside of the cogs. Yeah. Just some free harassment for him. Rubik gonna pop down a ward. All of this is getting scouted by this Radiant Observer ward, so I don't think anything should really come of this rotation, but we'll see what happens. Brood doesn't really have any kind of spider army built up or anything, so this is not an easy kill. Rubik still kind of wants it. Just needs some more spiders. Maybe you should wait until Brood has level 5, and then... But to me, this just says everything about how this bottom lane is going. They're not really accomplishing anything down there. Beastmaster has 5 CS. Veno's free farming. The TA is actually just doing just fine mid. Might be dead in a second here. But there could also be a TP rotation. Alright, they're going on him, but the spiders are just dying! XXS gets thrown back in, but he just mans up on the Rubik. He doesn't care at all. Okay. And Beastmaster trying to snag the wave away from Q, but Venomancer just completely free farming under his own tower. And up top, Shadow Fiend doing decently, but Baboka still giving him the business. With the Windrun. Very interesting skill build, in fact. 2 points Windrun, 1 point Shackle Shot, no Power Shot just yet. It feels like Power Shot is really what people have been abusing for the laning strength of the Windranger recently, but I guess maybe he wants a little bit of setup for the Axe. Rubik with an invis, wrapping around. Windrun's on cooldown for just a little bit. Pretty big creep wave, but alright, we're gonna make an attempt at this. Shackle comes out. Baboka just waiting. He's got the Windrun, but needs to be careful of those raises. Lift should come out, and that will be the kill. It looks like Baboka switches direction. They've still no, they don't have a raise. They've used all of them. Baboka's on the run, and I think he might just be out of there on the other side of the fight. SRF drags them back. And Baboka with the shackle heads up into the trees, and he is in the clear. Easy breezy. Oh man, poor Rubik. That was a long journey from bottom to mid to top, and he has absolutely nothing to show for it. XXS is still doing just fine at mid. Is this matchup supposed to go this way? I thought the Broodmother actually did pretty well here. You just build up a little spider army, and then you just sick them right on the TA, but... XXS appears to be clearing the spiders just fine. And if they never build up, then he never really gets threatened. Alright, well. If this matchup is just a win for the TA, then I think this game is just over. I think IG just straight up win. Broodmother without a good start just isn't a hero at all. So, we'll see. And Brood's also on the dire side this time around, so she can't really exploit the Tricamp in the same way that you can if you're over on the Radiant. Oh, nice shackle under the Shadow Fiend. SRF now is the call. I don't think they're going to kill him here, but this is going to be tons of damage. And they're actually diving in. Axe is pretty tanky under the tower, and he's only got room for 1 raise. Axe now going to salve up. Clockwork does not have the rocket flow to cancel it, so SRF is going to get a full salve. Oh man, that's got to be infuriating. Rubik is... Alright, he's sizing up mid lane once again. Can they get it this time around? Clockwork actually might be in a little bit of trouble, and Shadow Fiend also not in a great situation. Drops at a couple of raises. Ooh, Tombstone not going to get popped down. Nice cog pushback from Yuna, helping to keep the Shadow Fiend alive for now. They've got to focus down this tomb. Will be able to, and Clock still just running interference. He's played really well in this lane, I have to say, but this Venomancer is just free farming. And aggressive, 2 points up in the Plague Wards, has his Ring of Aquila. He's ready to rock and roll. Rubik just watching mid, but he doesn't want to be here if he's not getting kills. The Broodmother doesn't want him here either. There's absolutely no reason to be in this lane. You're just stealing experience. But it really just feels like Rubik has no home in this game. He could lift aggressive up onto the high ground, but there's not really anybody nearby to do anything. Beastmaster, almost level 6. They have a little bit of kill potential once they've got that up, but the Shadow Fiend's still not doing great. He's jungling. Everyone's just jungling. Keen Gaming's game plan has completely fallen off the rails. Their supports can't gank, their cores can't lane, and I don't think they can go late game against IG either necessarily. Rubik keeps finding these invis runes. He's got 2 invis runes in 6 minutes. Alright. I think Ice Frog himself is like feeling Rubik's plight and trying to help him out a little bit, but all it's doing is making his situation seem even sadder. That he can get pretty much the best rune that you can get for Rubik ganking in the early game and still doesn't do anything for you. Bird is farming some Ancients. Not really committed to any one build just yet, just grabbing an Aquila and some Treads. We saw the mainstream was memeing about Diffusal Blade Broodmother earlier. I don't know why Brood went Diffusal that game. I really hope we don't see Diffusal this game. I'm down with Orchid. I'm down with Desolator. This is a level 5 Shadow Fiend gank. They really, really want this Venomancer dead. Can they get it? I think they can. If they get the lift, he gets triple raised. Surely. They just need him to come a little bit closer. They're even bringing the Beastmaster over. All right, just lift him into a roar. Shouldn't be too hard. That's 1 missed raise. That's 2 missed raises. All right, just right click him. Just right click him. Nobody saw the raises. You got the kill. Good job, Keen. You did it. Keen on the board. I'm gonna hide the net worth because I think it's a little bit. It's not very accurate given that a lot of the Templar Assassins farm is Spiderlings. So Bird's still doing decently on the net worth, but all of that green up top has got to be cause for concern if you're a Keen Gaming fan. Axe already 1k gold towards his blink. Clockwork trying to grab the level 6. They are giving the lanes over to the supports to try and grab some levels so that they can make some plays. But TA also just farming towards her blink. Venomancer going to be going for a Force Staff this game to help out against the Roar, to help out against the Lift, to help out against the Cogs. Clockwork just going to go for the TP at. Just barely makes it. SRF almost had his number. I think if he'd still had a Battle Hunger active, that little bit of extra move speed would have done it for him. But alright. Axe is just going to end up going Vanguard, so that'll slow down his blink progression that little bit more, but I don't know if IG are in too much of a rush. Still nurturing this net worth lead little by little. And Brood's going Diffusal. I mean, I guess it's okay this game because you're up against Windrunner and what? No. Diffusal doesn't even purge anymore. You can't purge Windrunner. What is this for? Why? I don't think Brood is a hero that can just run in and right click people. Sure, it's a good damage item, but I am color me unconvinced. Yuna's about to get dunked on. Perhaps not. Nice Cogs. Doesn't have a TP scroll, so he just has to hide in here. And Baboka should know this, so he's gonna go looking for him. Nice hook across. Yuna's on the run. Is he gonna get power shot sniped? No, he won't. So this is just gonna have to happen the boring way. Dunk him down.
Is under attack.
Meanwhile, what else happened? Not really too much. Keen not really able to make too many plays on the map. They do have another Roar ready.
Dire's top tower
Somewhat of an opportunity, but IG very quickly grabbing that top tier 1. XXS. What's he got? He's got a full blink already. Alright, there you go. Does he kill Rubik now? Probably a little bit dangerous. Broodmother could come swinging over this hill at any time, so probably not worth it to go blinking in. Though if you aren't gonna try and find kills with your team right away, maybe you should have just gone Deso first. Not sure. The blink is also kind of a farming item, so that is worth keeping in mind. A little bit of extra mobility helps you get around to camps a little bit faster. And in terms of being able to deal with the blink TA this game, they don't really have the best methods on Keen.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Like, even the Clockwork Initiation, if the refraction is up, he needs to... I think he needs to get the cog pushback. I don't think he can get through the refraction fast enough in the hookshot stun duration to prevent the blink from going off. But the rocket flare, alright, they canceled that blink. It was nice timing, but then missed the hookshot, so... Alright, still keen to stick around here.
Dire's top tower is under
Look
attack.
towards the Undying. Battery salt's already been used.
Dire's structures are
Up top,
fortified.
they're just losing their tier 2 to solo Windrunner push. Rubik gonna pop down a ward, but that ward is not gonna last very long, and that TA trap immediately forces him to TP all the way back. Oh, not even TPing all the way back. Nicely done. Does just TP over to the wave. Get these last hits, Rubik. Come on, you need them. You're dirt poor. Undying is not in a much better situation, admittedly.
Invisibility.
I don't know. Keen just seemed to be slowly but surely losing this game. They do have some damage on this mid-tier 1 tower, but the fact that it's not dead just yet and the Broodmother has 0 kills are not very good signs for this game. Brood does have pretty good talents, right? Is that enough to justify trying to turn this hero into more of a late gamer? It feels like after you get to past a certain point, Brood just doesn't really do anything. Alright, Fog Trap. Max getting focused down. They need triple raises to land here. Do they have enough? Q coming in with the heals. He's tanking the battery assault and he survives. Shadow Fiend dies as well. XXS looking for the follow-up kill as now Yuna goes down. Why did... I don't know. They just needed to land the raises.
Radiant's middle tower is
Why
under
Requiem
attack.
him? Why get like 10 damage out of an edge Requiem like that? Nice shackle. Now the Broodmother's in trouble. Tries to heal up, but can't do anything against the refraction. Just clinking her teeth. And that is 4 dead. And that is going to be IG finding a very quick tier 1... yet another tier 1 tower for
Radiant's bottom
themselves.
tower is under attack.
Beastmaster's just sitting at the bottom scratching his head. It's like, what am I supposed to do? I guess I'll keep farming my Shadow Blade. Or whatever item he's going for here, but... As soon as they lose this mid-tier 1 tower, the Dire have completely sacrificed any control that they have over Roche. Rubik tries to save himself with the meld. It was a cute little play, but XXS one step ahead. Gets that Psyblade spill onto him, and down he goes. And Aggressive still just chilling. I feel like he hasn't had to do anything this game. He did die the one time at bottom, but he's just been shoving lanes. Gonna be going for a BKB shortly after that. TA has 3k gold. And Brood's still just working on Diffusal. But why? I mean, I guess the IG heroes are somewhat mana reliant, but
Dire's top tower is under attack.
SF has parts of a Yule's and then a BKB queued up. Yeah, IG grabbed this tower very quickly and then immediately smoke up, heading over towards mid, trying to grab something. With this tier 1 tower still standing at bottom, Keen can't even really get that far into this Radiant side of the map to grab any farm. And Shadowfiend can at least come and shove out the wave and maybe grab these 2 camps. But they know that they can't really do anything. And TA with a double damage rune of all things. Head straight into Roche. They've got the damage amp as well from the Flesh Golem. This is textbook play from IG. They're going to get Rocket Flare scouted, but it doesn't feel like it matters in the slightest. Clockwork's not even close enough for a hook shot. And now they have a Blink Deso Aegis TA at 15 minutes. Absolutely nothing done about XXS. And this is not the first crazy TA performance that we've seen so far in this tournament. FTD also putting on a show with Love You Love Me's TA a little bit earlier.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
I think the stats were probably a little bit better on his TA, but this is also just a pretty monstrous TA game from XXS. And I don't know. Somebody let me know. I'm not that familiar with Templar Assassin and Broodmother as heroes, but I don't feel like this matchup is supposed to be as easy for TA as it looked this game. And Exodus is just going in. He is a little bit surrounded, so this is going to be the Aegis lost here, it looks like. But they should be able to get in and find some follow-up kills. SF going for the TP out. Clockwork, will he be able to escape? He needs to get some mana regen going for the Town Portal Scroll. Alright, he's going to die, but that was pretty worth it for Keen, to be honest. Get the Aegis almost for free. They lose the Clockwork, but big whoop. And they also get a little bit of farming time on Rubik. They get some farming time on the Broodmother to finish the Diffusal Blade, so Diffy BKB coming up. And Shadow Fiend does decide to complete the Yule's Scepter at the end of the day.
Top tower is under attack.
Goes back onto the Boca. Shackle Shock comes out, and Rubik is gone.
Good shot, right?
So Bubuka is going for a Maelstrom, transitioning into a little bit of a core role here. As IG might even go for 2 towers down here at bottom. I don't know how confident they're feeling after the Aegis is now down on XXS, but feels like they should still be able to force a little bit of something. They've got their Blink Dagger on Axe, and yeah, SRF is more than set up for this. Okay, so they're going to stick to their guns. We'll see what this Diffusal Broodmother can do. She's relatively tanky, has the Ogre Axe picked up. Also what, fairly high level? Yeah, up there, but TA also doing really well. Both of these heroes are just been farming Ancients all game, feels like. It remains to be seen which one's going to have the bigger impact. I am kind of surprised that Keen aren't bleeding more kills, but they are pretty far behind now in terms of net worth. And IG just rushing towards this double BKB timing. BKB is okay this game. I don't know if the BKB is like completely game winning. It does at least shut down the SF. So, oh. They're gonna come running over. Keen are hunting for something. They are smoking out. IG not all together. They do have Aggressive still just pushing out this bottom wave. Be TPing not to join his team, but in fact TPing over to top. I feel like I haven't even seen Aggressive in this game other than the time he died bottom. He's just been shoving side lanes the entire time. But this is gonna be a pretty fast BKB for him. Seemingly quite content to play this pretty chill. SRF's getting close to a Blade Mail. And Axe is another hero that feels like we haven't really seen too much from so far this game. I guess the complexion of this game would be different if XXS hadn't lost his Aegis the way that he did. They probably would have tried to force down another Tier 2 somewhere along the lines, but instead we've just got both teams going for these BKBs. I don't even know if BKB is that good for either side. Like, sure, SF and Clockwork both pretty reliant on magical damage to find kills at the moment, so the BKB is good for that, but by the same token, IG, they got a little, you know, they got the Shackle and they got Poison Nova, but they also have quite a lot of right click, and the BKB is not going to do anything for you against Axe, really, so I'm not so sure that these BKBs are going to end up being the I win buttons that both of these teams are hoping that they'll be. But I guess we'll find out, because Aggressive down here at bottom, whiffing Gales. Does not manage to catch the Shadow Fiend. Still running forward, at least wants to cancel that clarity on Rubik. And IG still not happy, it seems, to bring their whole lineup together and actually take a fight. Just want to keep on farming. The net worth has completely plateaued. The experience has completely plateaued.
Boom, there it goes.
Everyone honestly just looks a little... Well, they're not lost, but no one seems to have a really firm handle on which team is stronger right now.
That should help.
I guess I can get faster.
Oh no, Rubik. That's trouble. At least get the bounty. Block yourself in with the Plague Ward, maybe. Find a juke. Just gets run down by Boca. Oh no. Hasterant on the Windranger. We've seen this story once already, and we might even see it a couple more times this game. Keen still only the 1 kill. But, I mean, finding decent farm. I like this Solar Crest on the Beastmaster. like I've been saying, there is still quite a lot of right-click damage on the IG side. And Venno now just going to be going for a Pike. It's kind of a right-click build from him. Did go for the 90 GPM, pretty standard. All right, Brood Mother. Let's see what you got. Use the blade and BKB. Can they win a fight off of this? Has plenty of web charges, plenty of opportunities to chase. Clock can't really initiate. He's just getting scouted by the Plague Wards. Rubik can though, but no, they get the jump in. They got the call. Rubik's going to die very, very quickly. They have to try and catch a little bit more. This is not a great BKB usage just yet. They get the roar onto the Venomancer, but he's still pretty tanky. Brood Mother, show me what you can do. Focusing on the Q so far, but if there's another blink call in a couple of seconds, SRF is going to make his life hard. He's also got the Blade Mail. Brood Mother's already popped everything. Just going to try for the TP out now. Might just die. That is a 4-for-0 fight. Invictus Gaming survive, and everyone on Keen gets brought down. I don't know why they chose to engage after Rubik died. Like, could they not have just run away? Was that option not available to them? Well, anyway, that is going to be plenty of gold, plenty of experience, another tier 2 tower. IG taking some strides this game. They're going to get the BKB now up on the Templar Assassin. So as we saw, they couldn't come even close to killing the Venomancer in the last fight, though they roared him without the Brood Mother even really being there. So I don't know if that was necessarily a fair example of what their lineup is capable of, but looking like IG might just be able to wait around for another Roshan, secure that for themselves. That Brood did nothing. We've had 20 minutes of Brood farming for that to almost kill an Undying. And Axe is also just going to be going for a BKB. Poor old SF. TA going, well, was thinking about MKB. Now I'm just going to be going Butterfly, and IG smoked up. Should be able to find Unit pretty easily. Can he get himself a hookshot away? No, just going to hookshot in and commit. SF wants to fight this, but I don't know if that's the right decision. He gets slowed down by the trap, and now he's just dead. No Force Staff or anything to save him. Dark is thinking about jumping in on the back lines. They've got the Brood Mother once again going on the Undying, but I just don't know if he really cares about being focused. They do manage to isolate the Venomancer and bring him down, but that's only because on the other side of the fight, IG have lopped off the Brood Mother's head, brought her down. Dark tried for the TP out, but Baboka catches him, finds himself an unstoppable streak, and SRF not even done. Goes hunting inside of the base. Not going to find anything there, and now he's actually in a little bit of trouble. He's being galed up. Shadow Fiend is not anywhere nearby though, so it looks like it might actually be IG who gets the last laugh. Looking towards Yuna, a couple of auto attacks to bring him down. Mega kill streak for XXS, and now the last outer tower of the game for Keen Gaming. About to get brought down in short order. They at least got a couple more kills there, but still amazing fight for IG, and Brood Mother's still... This is the last pick Brood. This is supposed to be like, haha, we got you. The last pick Brood Mother, see you in the next round, but it's not even remotely happening. I don't know if it's Brood on Dire, I don't know if it's Diffusal Brood, I don't know if it's just a bad Brood game. I don't know if the nature of the Brood TA matchup has played it, has changed since they played it last, but something's off. And it's making the whole lineup look very, very questionable. And Roshan is back up. Alright. Aegis and Cheese await for IG. XXS does decide against the Butterfly at the end of the day. It's just going to be going for the MKB. Could change his mind again. We'll see what happens. Brood's also going MKB. They smoke right on top of those creeps and then just run over SRF. If he gets this blink call, he's got the range. Who does he see? He wants the Brood Mother, and he's going to get so many spins off of all of those spiders. Brood, why were you sitting right on top of all of that? Yuna just jumps in because he wants some Poison Nova as well. Now he gets right-click down. Shadow Fiend pops the BKB, but what does it matter? On the other side, well, you don't even need to see it. I can tell you what happened. Wind Ranger clicked focus fire on Rubik,
Dire's middle
and then he
tower
died.
is under attack.
And IG. There you go. We had a crazy back and forth game in the last round, and now we're gonna have pretty much the most straightforward game I've cast in this qualifier so far. Not even buying the BKB, just buy some BOTs. The spot Dark trying to do something over here on the high ground. He's now dead. And I would guess that Keen probably take 1 or 2 more fights, maybe lose lane to Rax, and then they call it.
Dire's middle tower is under
TA is
attack.
surviving for too
Dire's
long on the
middle
map
tower
that she's running
has
out of
fallen.
mana. I mean, XXS does have a clarity ready for himself. But, yeah, straight up onto the high ground we go. Yuna rocket flaring from the side. Not a whole lot he can really do. Shadowfiend gonna try and threaten bottom, but meh.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, he's still here. They see him. They call him. They shackle him. He's dead. Dunk him down for good measure. Don't give Baboka any more kills. Oh, now Rubik scaled up. Refraction is not going to help him in the slightest. Aggressive. What's he got? Is Hurricane Pike coming out? Not just yet. Oh yeah, he can disassemble. Get the Wraith Band, and there you go. XFS has the money for the MKB. He so desires, cleaning up even more spiders. And we'll just now stand tall on the front lines here. Probably even wants to lose the Aegis to get some HP and mana back. But also want this tier 3 without too much of a commitment. Broodmother gonna get Galed. Shadowfiend's up soon, but he's not gonna have enough souls. Hook in from the clockwork, but doesn't really do anything, and it looks like he may have just hooked to his death. Are you just going to play the objective? They do get the call over into the Broodmother. That is going to sound the alarm. Everybody runs in. BKB getting popped by the Shadowfiend, not really doing anything. Buyback from the Brood, but with no BKB, it's going to be very difficult to engage into this fight, though as we've seen even with the BKB, it's very, very difficult to engage into this fight. Well, turns out that IG did not forget about the Broodmother pick, and Keen will just call unsurprising 28-minute GG. So that's going to wrap up their score for today for the TI8 China qualifiers at 2-2. And Invictus Gaming are going to be moving forward after a little bit of a rocky start. They're now 3-1, sitting at the top of the group, along with FTD. I don't know what else there is to really say about that game. Keen are gonna have to look at that one and be like, oh, maybe we don't know everything about the Brute. The Brute did 5k damage that game. Just not a good look. The two supports also kind of weak. They picked the Clock SF for the combo, and then that lane just got annihilated. Rubik is not an amazing laning support. Like the Beastmaster and the Broodmother are in theory both really good laning heroes, but they never got off the ground at all. And like the one kill that they got in the early game was kind of gifted to them by an Invis rune on the Rubik. So that about wraps it up for... Well, that's going to wrap it up for this game. That's going to wrap it up for my coverage for today for the China qualifiers as well. The other China game might still be going on at the moment, which is actually a pretty good one. Team Serenity versus IG Vitality. Both of those two teams are also have pretty good records right now, so that is certainly worth a watch if you're hankering for some more China Dota. Otherwise, I guarantee you that there is other regions also kicking off, so make sure you head in and keep on watching some more TI8 coverage. I will be back tomorrow for the second half of the day, so I think I'm covering 3 BO1s and then any potential tiebreakers. I will likely be back on this channel as well. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoy all the coverage. Make sure to go and check out the rest of the TI8 hub, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.